It's kind of starting to rain here. Not a big deal, but kind of makes me want to put this thing back in my pocket. Well, ain't that interesting? They actually have a second bench now. That wasn't there the last time I remember seeing it. Well, I woke up this morning to some interesting, to an interesting little newsfeed blip. I've apparently got a GoFundMe account for the lens. I really have to thank Aaron and Angeline for setting that up. They both felt that it was something that could help me a lot, and you know, if I had to be frank, I don't see why not. I mean, I got a little, you know, like, oh, okay, I guess, but you know, it's important. You know, I've got more of a blog that sort of illustrates why it's important, but you know, if you're not watching that and you're seeing this, to summarize, it's part of a kit. It's really an essential part of the kit. I built a kit around using it, and now the kit's kind of in pieces. Like, for an example, coming out here, you know, like, this is a nice little tool that I have as well, but it's not weather sealed, and I actually had to put this away into my bag to wait for the rain to kind of stop so I can use it again. Meanwhile, I have my camera with the telephoto doing a time lapse, and I forgot to bring the filters for it. Or actually, no, I have the filters for it. I just don't have the way to put the filter on the lens. I see, like my kit, when I leave the house, I have everything that I need to get something done and have some diversity with it. And without, you know, like, I just don't have that right now. So everything is like niche, you know. If I gotta say, if I'm bringing that out with that, you know, I got the filters, I got the threads, I gotta, you know, but it means that other things cannot fit in the bag with me, which means it limits my abilities to cover broader stories. You know, whether it's even just whatever it may be. So in any case, though, I want to bring up something to. I want to, like, you know, reward anybody or whatever that does make the donation. You know, I was thinking, and this is kind of up in the air, we can still, you know, talk about it or, you know, figure it out or whatever. But I figure, like, say with like a minimum donation, if you will, of say $50 or whatever, you know, why don't we go out and take pictures? You know what I mean? I can't say it'd be like a photo shoot like in a studio. It's not what I have. It's not what that lens was for. But if you've seen some of my other work, and you've seen some other work that I've done with other people outside, if that's something you'd like to do, then it's just a matter of you know, scheduling an evening, because sunset is ideal. It is the better time, better light. But again, you know, we can figure that out, and we can go, you know, get your portrait. Something I can share with the people I've shot folder, and as well as you'd have your own version copies, you know, the higher res version that the YouTube doesn't compress out, or Facebook, and there you go. That way, you know, you got something as well, right? And I figure this would be a win-win-win, because through the process I get my lens back, or I get a new lens to, you know, so I can do that sort of thing. And it gives me an opportunity to take pictures, if you will, of people. And even though I've never really, and still don't really consider myself to be a, you know, getting into the photography side of things, professionally speaking, because there are a dime a dozen out there. I'm not going to compete with that. But, you know, if the interest was there, sure. But anyway, and then the third point would be is what was that third point? The third point was, oh yeah, it's like the general sort of exposure of it. You know, now through this story, you know, it's, in a sense, it's like a marketing bit for me. You know, it's awareness, and maybe through this process, maybe I'll, you know, somebody will come across a story, and you never know where it might lead to, right? So, you know, it's like a win-win-win. So if you're up for that, let's do that. So, yeah, in the meantime, though, if you're still trying to catch up and see what's going on, ooh, there's a, not an eagle, it is a hawk. There's no way I'd be able to get that on this camera. But anyway, if you're still kind of trying to catch up to the story, I mean, I'll leave the links and stuff below. I've got a vlog that sort of goes into more detail. But if you are, you got a few bucks or whatever and you want to help out, it does help me out quite a bit. Yeah, so I mean, other than that, I certainly thank anybody and everybody that has and will, and obviously, Angeline and Aaron, I was quite surprised. I'm not going to reenact my surprisement, but when I got the message, it was dusty in my house. I had to clear the dust in my house before I would move on. So anyway, thank you again, and thanks. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Thanks. Thank you. Have a good one.
This is why I like to have weather sealed equipment, because I can go out in the rain, get it all wet, and it's all good. Camera in my hand, I actually had to put all away. I was doing a motion time lapse with it, and well, obviously I can't let this sit out in the rain. What I'm shooting at is across the bay. That's where the fire is on the west side. Looks like the rain is just hitting it hard, which is really, really good to see. Hopefully the time lapse will turn out rather well. But we'll see when I get home.